And do you know if there's another boiler like this in the whole of Canada?
I'm sure there's lots, but there's one thing that's completely different about our boiler than any other boiler in Canada, is that ours has no chemicals in it.
Oh, that's the main point.
What do people use for these? What's the purpose of the boiler? Like this?
Heating. I know a lot of like textile companies use them. Universities use them to heat their entire facility.
And I see. Okay. Oh, okay. Any questions, ladies? No.
What kind of chemicals why would people put chemicals?
For oxygen scavenging. So the more oxygen you have in your water, the more likely it is to rust and corrode. And that can be damaging to the boiler. Another one is for scale. So what that is it's basically a hard layer that forms on the tubes. And the thicker layer of scale you have, the less heat transfer there is from the fire to the water to create the steam. So the more you build up, the more likely you are to have a failure in your boiler. There's a bunch of other ones. Phosphates, sulfates, flocculants. What those are is basically, even though the water coming in is filtered, there's always going to be a little bit of debris that comes in with it. So the flocculants, what they do is they make them attractive to each other. So they'll bunch together and then fall to the bottom of the boiler. So your boiler's not, doesn't build up with dirty water. So when you steam it, all that debris is going to be left behind and your steam's going to go clean. So after a while, you can get a dirty layer in your boiler. So we empty it out every couple months and fill it back up. But we have to do a few different things because we're not using chemicals.
What do we do?
So every 6 months we have to shut the boiler down for a week, drain it and open up. Like these are the manholes, the handholes, manholes. I gotta take like that plug off that pipe. So basically we gotta inspect the entire internals of the boiler and make sure that scale isn't building up, rust isn't building up in there. Just as a safety precaution, because we don't use those chemicals in there, that can accelerate that process. So we just retubed this, which is basically opening it up, cutting out all the tubes inside there. There's 178 tubes in there, I believe. So we had to cut every single one out, put brand new tubes in there. We did that February of 2017. A week before distributor harvest.
A week before we came.
Yay!
So it was still going on a little bit when the first group got here, but by the second group we had it all closed up and buttoned up. So it was a stressful couple of weeks because we couldn't make oil during those weeks. But now that those fresh tubes are in there, our boiler's good for minimum 5 years before we even have to start worrying about it again. We do a little bit of water treatment, and the only thing we really do is put it through a water softener, and that'll take out a lot of that scaling. Hard water basically is what causes that. And that's basically what it does, is it takes out the calcium and the magnesium out of the water and replaces it with sodium. So sodium is soluble in water, it'll carry through in steam, and it's basically salt. Whereas the calcium and the magnesium produce that hard scale, which can affect the boiler's efficiency. And after a long period of time, that can really do some damage to it.
That's an amazing information to have.
But,
because, yes.
I mean, with chemicals, when we told our regulatory body, so we got the Technical Safety BC, which kind of regulates boilers. So when we told him, our inspector, that we weren't putting chemicals in there, his arms flew up in the air and red flags got up, because he never heard of a boiler not being run with chemicals before. And basically we told him, if we have to shut the boiler down every year and gut it and rebuild it every year, that's what we'll do. Because as soon as we put chemicals in here, we can't use this boiler.
I remember Gary told me that.
Yeah.
When he was setting this up, he could not find an inspector who knows how to inspect a boiler that has no chemicals in it.
Exactly.
He had to teach him. That's why I asked that question just now.
So what we had to do originally is every 3 months open it up. And then we did that for 2 years. And we made reports. So every 3 months I had to write a 30-page report with pictures and send that in to him so he can review it and make sure we are still safe with our boiler. And then after 2 years, we got that extended to 6 months. So before, every 3 months, so we'd have to shut it down for about a week. And then if he was on holidays or something when I sent my report in, I'd have to wait for him to get back because I couldn't close it up before he got, gave me his little check mark. So that usually would affect us for 1 week in our season. So our season's only 6 months long. So we would have to shut down for a week in the middle of our season. So we finally got him to agree to 6 months. So now we can run our full season without having to shut down for a week and stop making oil, stop production. And now we can go till the end of our season. Then we can shut it down, inspect it, and then fire it back up after that.
I remember Gary told us that when he was setting up the farm, this was the reason why the distillation had to be deferred, because they wouldn't approve the boiler without chemicals.
There was a lot of red tape we had to cut through, and one of those conditions was the 3 months inspection. Is that the only way they would let us turn it on is, okay, after 3 months, open it up, and we'll prove to you that we could run it without chemicals. Because again, they'd never seen a boiler run without chemicals before. Usually, when he first came in, he said, okay, well, where's your chemical injection port? Because usually, there's a pipe on the side that goes right into the boiler, and that just, all day long, that just injects chemicals in there. So when we didn't have one, we had to convince him that it was, the way we had to run.
When Gary told me, I didn't understand. I only knew the concept, but now that you explained to me, because I remember he said the farm was actually ready to distill at the end of September. But we couldn't because of the boiler issue, and the guy was on holiday, and so he started inspecting in October, but we couldn't fire it up because we had to wait October, November, and December. Eventually, at the end of January, we could run it, right?
We got our permit. Well, we could run it for testing.
Yes, not
in
for
January.
testing.
So we finally got our permit on March 18th of 2015. That was my first day of work. So that was the when we first got our operating permit. We were allowed to run it.
Yeah. And today is the 16th.
That's right. Yeah. So
tomorrow
will be 5 years exactly.
Anniversary.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, that was why we had questions for you. Amazing, because this is such important information to send out to the world. Because nobody understands this, and people always talk about how do you prove that you don't have chemicals? What's the difference? So we talk about the water, we talk about the gas, we talk about the distillation, and every single part of it. I always said that it takes Gary at least 2 hours to explain why our products are better. At least from growing, from the seed to the soil, to the water that watered the farm, and to what we put into the soil and all of that, until really the sealing part. It's incredible what we do. Thank you.
You're very welcome.